$39 billion in federal student loans that will be forgiven for 800,000 borrowers. And we're also learning more about President Biden's new SAVE plan.
After years of borrowers not getting credit for all their payments toward loan forgiveness, the DOE has been doing a recount.
Student loan forgiveness, we've been, ever since Biden was campaigning, he told us that what did he say? He said student loans, he's going to work on getting those eradicated for us, or helping us just be able to be student loan or debt free when it comes to our student loans in some way, shape, or form. Then he got in office. Then he was like, I know I said I was gonna erase your student loan debt, but let's work with me here. All right, let me give you about 10% off. As upset as we were like, okay, let's see that. Some people that I know had all of their loans forgiven, and some of us had $10 off. Okay, and then there was so much that happened where everybody's like, listen, Biden done dropped the form. Go ahead and fill it out. Remember we were doing that? Go ahead and fill out that form.
Well, we sending that text message to everybody.
Did you get it? Make sure you do it right now.
Do it right now.
So that you are not behind and you're not lagging, or your system isn't lagging, and you are first in line when they drop the discounts for those loans. Now, we know that it's been struck down a couple of times because, Supreme Court doesn't give a damn. The right doesn't give a damn. Nobody gives a damn. And so it's been struck down a couple of times for, us to have our student loans forgiven, even if it wasn't in totality, even if it was just like $5 off. They didn't even want that. We know that the right has had conversation and talking points that included, that means that, I remember Laura Ingraham saying, my mother. When they start off with, when Fox News hosts start off with my mother, you know what's coming next.
Here we go to white tears.
Worked so hard, even though we lived in the house, we ate food. Sometimes we had to eat cheese sandwiches. And my mother worked at the local diner.
They'll be like, my mother, we had to eat Maggiano's. What is this? What is life?
My mother had to walk to the bus stop.
It was right outside of her door. That is not right.
Meanwhile, our parents had to walk miles straight over, take a bus from there. On that bus, hop on a shuttle, if that shuttle allowed them to get on, holding the groceries on their head. Or whoever's parent that they had to go take care of in a different town, or child that they had to go take care of in a different town, and was making God knows how much on the dollar compared to what your mother was doing, Laura Ingraham. Anywho, I just remember that conversation. I bring her up and to say, sometimes the suffering and all of that is just like, the right wants to say that because we're asking for our loans to be forgiven so that we can pay for our housing, especially in this economy, so that we can feed our kids, so that we can make sure that we have a roof over our heads, so that we can make sure that at least we have a rainy day fund to fix that flat tire, so that we can make sure that we could at least fund our therapy for the week. So that we can there's so many different things. It's like that we deserve that we can't do. Some of our kids we can hardly see because we're doing 6 jobs just to make sure that our kids have some kind of savings for them to possibly go to school. Nepotism doesn't work fully for people of color. But we're not going to get there because we already discussed affirmative action and how that was struck down. But going it back into our student loan debt, do you qualify for Biden's $39 billion student debt collection? Listen, the Education Department announced that more than 800,000 borrowers would see their debt eliminated thanks to, quote, fixes made to its income-driven repayment programs. Tens of thousands of borrowers with federal student loans are probably wondering, is my debt about to get a little lighter? I don't know, because on Friday, when this was announced, it's basically that 800,000, that We know more than 800,000 of us, owe. And that's basically that we'll have $39 billion removed. And that's just to address, the program's repayments, past errors. And so with that, they'll learn whether they received within the coming days or months. We'll all learn whether we have received that adjustment.
So is that something that's just going to be automatic?
So you don't know. It will be automatic system. So it will be in the system. You just open up your account and you'll look who qualifies. And this is according to the New York Times, borrowers with direct loans or those made through the Federal Family Education Loan FFEL program and held by the Education Department may qualify, including borrowers with the Parent Plus loans. But borrowers are eligible for debt cancellation only. It's always going to be only if they have reached a certain threshold or if they've accumulated the equivalent of either 20 or 25 years of qualifying months. For most borrowers, that means you will need to have been in repayment for 240 or 300 months and earlier, or in either an income-driven program where payments vary based on a borrower's income and family size, or a standard repayment plan. How do you know if you received that extra credit, which was the question that you just asked, or for payments? Borrowers' updated payment count will include any month they were in repayment, regardless of type of loan, the repayment plan used, or whether payments were partial or late. But they'll also get a credit for any period they spent 12 or more consecutive months in forbearance, as well as in any month in forbearance for those who spent 36 or more cumulative months in forbearance. Any month spent in deferment, except for in-school deferment before 2013, will also count. This goes for any month spent in economic hardship or military deferment on or after January 1st, 2013. When will debt cancellation start? Immediately. The Education Department said it would inform borrowers if they had enough payments for cancellation with no further action on their part, and they would continue to notify borrowers who reach the debt elimination threshold every two. Listen, baby.
Some bullshit. Y'all garnished my whole check for years. So, and even still, it may not be a chance and I'm even going to qualify, man. It's still not helping nobody. Who is this helping? So the people that have been able to pay, that's what y'all doing now. Basically what it is, y'all don't want to help anybody that really needs the damn help. Like, I can't afford to pay a damn student loan, survive out here in the world, pay for a roof over my head, car note, insurance, medical bills, and everything else. God forbid I have a child. Now I got to take care of a child. So you still want me to pay this money and you're still not helping me? It's just like, what the hell?
I
would rather quit my job so you can't garnish my check no more than pay y'all.
There are a lot of people who have that, but will not qualify for loan repayment. And you may be, to me, at the front of the list. Some people are actively not paying because they can't afford to. If I focus on paying for my student loans right now, there's going to be somewhere where I lack. I'm going to be hungry. I may be behind on my housing. I may be behind on my utilities. I may not be able to pay my car note or my insurance. I may be riding dirty. And so we don't want those things, but we're basically dodging them. And we don't know if, God forbid, you'll be next for your check to be garnished in some way, shape, or form. And then these programs come out. We just not making the cut for that. So, if you're a part of the 800,000, when you wake up in the morning and you may be a part of that, God bless you. But there's a lot of us who will not make the cut. And that's the reality of the situation. I don't know why we are battling with this. Our own president can't even get this thing done. The promises have have changed so many times just to try to get us $5 off. And the people are still saying, no, that's laziness. They should pay for the rest of their lives to go to school for that degree that when they got out of school and it was a recession and they weren't able to get that job that we said that they could get to pay back off their loans. We thought that if we go to school, get loans, come back out, get a job to pay back off those loans. At least that was a psychotic thought anyway, but at least
It
that
really
we weren't able to even do that, y'all. And now they're looking at us like you're lazy because you want your loans to be canceled, your debt to be canceled.
But
You're
yeah, here
lazy.
they are canceling hundreds and thousands of dollars and millions of dollars in PPP loans that y'all haven't being forgiven, and y'all wealthy as hell, and y'all having all this money forgiven. But here it is, my poor ass can't have $20,000 forgiven, $30,000,
No,
$10,000.
you don't deserve
a couple of dollars. Y'all
You
can't
don't
forget
deserve-
that.
You
Cool.
black and you're
Man.
gay. Are you serious?
And a child right. So many
No.
X marks on my ballot already.
Yeah.
So it's
You hit
like,
too
what
many
the hell?
marginalized points, and we don't want you. You should suffer. You have to suffer. That's the only way this will work. Listen, now, David, go ahead and roll that footage. I know I done talked everybody ear off. Let's take a look at what they're saying about the latest in student loan debt.
Announced $39 billion in federal student loans that will be forgiven for 800,000 borrowers. And we're also learning more about President Biden's new SAVE plan. Let's go straight to consumer reporter Heather Sullivan, who's joining us now live with some smart sense to break it all down. Heather.
Yeah, so after the U.S. Supreme Court blocked President Biden's $400 billion student loan forgiveness plan last month, the administration is fixing another broken forgiveness plan and lowering payments through its new SAVE plan.
The Education Department says $39 billion in federal student loans will be forgiven. After years of borrowers not getting credit for all their payments toward loan forgiveness, the DOE has been doing a recount. The DOE now says the 804,000 borrowers who have made the required 240 or 300 monthly payments, that's 20 to 25 years, on an income-driven repayment plan or standard repayment plan will be notified that the balance of their loans will be forgiven. And after the U.S. Supreme Court blocked President Biden's plan to forgive borrowers of up to $20,000 in federal loans last month, he announced the Savings on a Valuable Education Plan, or SAVE plan. The SAVE plan is an income-driven repayment plan that will reduce monthly payments based on the borrower's income and family size. Borrowers earning less than $32,800 or a family of four earning less than $67,500 a year won't have to make any payments. Interest will not accrue, driving up what borrowers owe. DOE says most borrowers earning more than that will save at least $1,000 a year. On a $10,000 loan, under the old plan, borrowers would pay back $10,956. Under the SAVE plan, they could pay $6,121.
A big difference. And for borrowers who are not able to make payments when they resume October 1st, President Biden is also starting an on-ramp to repayment program for 1 year. Missed payments will not be considered delinquent in that year.
None of us qualify, for real. I mean,
at all.
Yeah, it's just stipulation after stipulation. And of course, the more you make, the more you have to pay. It's all, it doesn't make any sense, and it's changed so much every other week. I'm pretty sure there's going to be an adjustment to what they just rolled out with. Who can, and it's like, I know they're saying all of this, but it's so funny because when they did this before, when some people were just waking up saying, oh, my student loan debt has been canceled, these people didn't even qualify. I know a couple of people, I'm like, how did you qualify for this? I don't know, but my student loan debt is canceled. Have you ever paid anything back? No. Well, how much is your student loan debt? $300,000.
This whole thing just pisses me off.
Navient, when they call you and they're like, hey, Rebecca, usually they have an accent, but hey, Rebecca, hey, we're calling because this is how much you owe. Are you able to make? And then they go in completely. It is Hunger Games, Rachel.
Yes.
But, are you able to make a payment? No, we're calling because you owe this much. This is how much you're behind. Will you be able to make a credit card payment or whatever? And then there's a weird, awkward pause. And then they're like, okay, ma'am, well, are you working? But what would somebody say when they ask you that? Because if they find out you have income, baby, you'll be repaying using your gas money, your grocery money.
Apple gonna be an SOL trying to get this little money for their little plan.